The heartbeat, and then it goes back.
Yes, welcome back to the Jam Master Show. And I tend to miss my brethren for some reason, jammers, feel kind of naked when he literally is not beside me. Yeah, I tend to miss him. So, again, we had great sister Sevens who was reasoning with us and talking about spiritual warfare. We need to arm ourselves at all times because, as you know, that it's a time now. If you don't arm yourself, these people will drain you out. And she really gave us a good account of what's been happening to us and what we should be doing today. Anyway, I did say that we do have some poetry people, them are come inside the house. They're well known all over the globe. See, and in fact, them so big that them come together and put a collective of poems together. I know it's called 100 Years Unheard. I'm looking at the book right now, and and one or two people we know them personally, and what they'll be doing, they'll be talking about their journey, and also they got an event coming up about March, and talking about the event, and I was talking about the whole thing about poetry and what them about, we have Ngoma. I take off him jacket right now, so I'm ready for action. We have Sister Bridget. Oh, you have a different name. Essie. Lady Essie inside the house. And also we have Yvonne. What am I called? Pam. We have Pam inside the house. See? So they be reasoning with us. And again, as I said, they're well known and they've been doing this thing for a long time. I know Ngozi been in Ngoma, doing this thing for many years. And I know he's a spar with the sister Demela and what's that brand name now again? The brother used to spar with one time. Omara. Seen many years ago. So this is something they've been doing over years and finding his craft. So what's gonna happen though, I'm gonna ask Ngoma to give you a little background about the project. Give you a little background about the project and how they come together to put this book together, and just a little bit of background about themselves, see, so people know about them. Yes, Ngoma.
Yes, we're live. Yeah, big up my brethren, Dougie. Love the way you big us up to the max, give us all different names, Respect for that still. Yeah. So we want me to do a little bit about the background of the book and so on and so forth.
Yeah, just a little back so people know exactly where you're coming from. The background about the book and about the individuals and the project and etc.
Okay, we have an organization. The organization's called the House of MOA, MAU. And a little bit complex, so I'm going to simplify it still. We involve in a number of different art forms, including spoken word. So within the House of MOA now we have a section called Amber Publications, which deals with all literary kind of work. And within that, we have a writers group called the African Heritage Writers. And we have produced a book called 100 Years Unheard. And it's an anthology, it's a collection of both poetry and prose. And I know enough people always say, well, what's the difference between poetry and prose? Well, keeping it simple, prose is anything that's not poetry. And poetry tends to rhyme, not always, but that's a kind of rough breakdown, yeah? Poetry is what people normally associated with rhyming work. And essentially prose is anything that's outside of that. All right, so we have an anthology, and the anthology is produced by all the contributors to the book are people within the writing group, African Heritage Writers. There are 13 of us.
Oh, there's 13 of you.
There's 13 of us.
Okay then.
And along with 3 guest writers, we've produced this book. And the book's called 100 Years Unheard. And the reason for that title is that 2014 to 2018 symbolize 100 years since the end of what they call World War One.
All right.
That's what they call it. We don't call it World War One because there's enough wars and there's only one world, but they call it World War One. And the book is written by the various contributors or individual perceptions of our role within that war, within that conflict. Specifically, or most particularly, all women folk, because up until a little while ago, anything that you read about or you saw about World War One was always from a European perspective, and it's like we never participated, even though we go and get killed and fight and get killed for both sides of this foolishness. We never were acknowledged in it. So we said, okay, we're gonna do something from our perspective. So then when we started to research and see what was already out there, we saw, well, there's a little bit that was written about our people, but it was written by our people because nobody else would tell our story, so we have to tell it ourselves. But the little that was there was always from a male perspective. So we decided to take the approach that we wanted to create something that showed the impact of World War One on African women from the continent and the diaspora.
Oh, African women from the
continent, what we call the diaspora. That means all the Africans spread out across the world, the globe.
Right.
Right. So all of the pieces in the book reflect, and obviously they can't tell their own story because not many of us are 100 years old plus. Yeah. So we told a story on their behalf from how we think it would most probably have impacted on them. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So it's called 100 Years Unheard because until this point, the voice of our women folk in them times have never really been told where it relates to our role in the conflict. So that's the history behind the organization and the book in a nutshell. Yeah.
I wonder can just mention just a brief about the individuals who contribute towards the book, because a couple of them I do know well. Baden Prince,
Yeah, you get his name right though.
Yeah, Baden.
Yeah.
No, me get people.
Because we know
Don't
you.
get me talk to so many people.
I know that. I know you're a
big.
big soup, and we know that, right? And we respect the opportunity to be here, but we know that you have so many people in your in your vision that sometimes you get us jingled. But that's all right. Still, it's love,
Come I talk to so many people. And, So, but Baden, me know him good.
Yeah, Baden's one of Baden's all due to be listening right now, and if I know Baden is almost certain to ring in at some point and give his thing, because I know you're welcoming people to
they can phone it. But not before it.
And
And the fun thing, Baden used to teach. He's a teacher, in fact, he taught me.
Baden teach enough people. Baden is one of the best tutors from a literary perspective around.
Yeah, he teach
he's great.
African history or something that. In the early days, that was about 1920. But yeah, he's a teach, so I know been for a long time, And always you have the
we have enough of us.
Yeah, then go through some of them, man.
All right. What I want to do,
I mean, there's about 15.
There's still only 13 of us. There's 13 of us.
There's 13 of you.
Yeah, it's 13 of us.
Okay.
But the book contains the work of 16 people. So all 13 plus 3 people who were either used to be in the group or associated with the group, or we felt they had something to add, so we included their work.
So you still include them into the work?
Yeah.
So you can't just go through them and just mention them and just big them up.
I'm not as young as you, so I can't really. And here's the thing, though. If I start calling out people's names, right, from my head, then I'm going to leave out somebody, and then it's going to be pure worries. So what I'm going to do, I have 2 of my sisters and 2 colleagues who are here in the studio with me, and they're going to kind of come in right now, and their brain is better than mine, so they'll be able to tell you who and who is in a group, because...
Greetings, it's Lady Essie here.
Go on.
Yeah, Lady Essie. Greetings, listeners. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are listening in the world. So the contributors to the book that contributed a piece was Abe Gibson, Aon John, Baden Prince, Beulah Williams, Bridget Baden McQuick, Diana Phillips, Eloisa Muhammadu Kusi, Ngoma Bishop, Ngozi Obanye, Pam Williams, Shirley E. Mason, aka Cuban Red, Vivienne Days, and Yvonne Williams. Our guest writers were Saba, Sonia Hope, and Yvonne Roberts. So these are the authors that contributed to their anthology.
Yeah,
Yes.
African writers in the house with a little bit of buzzing and thing going down.
Yes.
Sorry, we just got some humming noise that was coming from. I think. What's that matter for you? Sorry. So we got some humming noise, might be a bit disturbing. One of the last technician just coming in.
No place to lie, no warmth inside. This woman, she had no home. No home. I sat in my office looking at the snow, see it piling high. Thinking I need a much warmer coat to face the great outside. I saw a man pulling a mountain, so scientists can't offload. No job, no social security, no permanent abode. He had no home, he had no home.
Sorry, my sister. We had a humming noise, so we had to deal with that. See? So, sorry, can you just, so you read that names already? Do you read up the,
Do you want me to read them again? I can read them out
Yeah,
again.
read them again, please.
Okay, so the contributors to the 100 Years and Herbs, 100 Years Unheard, even Abe Gibson, A. On John, Baden Prince, Beulah Williams, myself, Lady Essie, Diana Phillips, Eloisa Muhammadu Kusi, Diana Phillips, I've said it already, Ngoma Bishop, Ngozi Obonye, Pam Williams, Shirley E. Mason, aka Cuban Red, Vivienne Days, Yvonne Williams. Our guest writers were Saba, Sonia Hope, and Yvonne Roberts.
Okay, then. So, like, no, you've just read out the names and so forth. I want to, so how do you find the project, and how do you get involved in the project yourself?
The project started in 2014, so that's when I joined the group alongside Pam. We both joined at the same time, and I think it was just after Maya Andrew had passed away, and the African Heritage Writers Group, they did a appreciation evening, and we went, and then we thought, okay, let's sort of join the group, see how it's going. And then I think one of the first pieces of homework was, we write about World War One, and because it was a centenary of the war, there was loads of events and projects around the war, and so we in Goma had decided that the group should do something as well related to it. So we started in 2014. However, remembering I knew nothing about World War One from school, I thought I'd go to the one place they must have information, the Imperial War Museum. So I went there, started a research, and it was enlightening about how much information was actually in the Imperial War Museum and you can take out. So then I learned that they actually fought on the coast of Africa, called the African Theatres of War. So they fought on the north, south, east, west coast, which inspired some of my pieces. And then also the women, it was all looking at how the women who started sort of, at first the war was like, everyone wanted to be the war, but after like 2 years, in the museum they've got letters of people starting going, why are they still fighting? What's going on? Why is my husband or my father or my not come back? So I started thinking, okay, if there were women in Africa, in the continent, whose partners were being, or their family members were going off to war, they would be thinking the same thing as well. So I Googled, tried to see if there was any information about the African Caribbean women, and there was no information. So I fed it back to the rest of the group. Everyone else done their research. And then it was also about, there wasn't enough information on our contribution, the women, the African Caribbean women. And when they fought on the continent as well, it was a lot of the chiefs were the ones that got the men to go out and fight. They were the chiefs in the villages.
Yeah.
were the ones with their go-between that were
Okay.
getting everyone to fight. And another interesting fact in the Imperial War Museum is they've got a whole cabinet that shows every country that gave a donation. They gave money or goods for the war effort. So they sent men, they sent money, and they sent goods. So Jamaica sent maybe some sugar or sent stuff. So every country that were poorer were sending money to the king and country and contributing to the war through goods and stuff. So all that information's out there. So it's really interesting. So we started sort of looking at different ways of how we can. So the project really changed over the years. So from 2014, it kind of was about the men. Then we started realizing it was more about the women.
Almost about the women and teen. Oh,
yeah, so that's
okay.
how. So first it was about the men that had gone out to fight. So that's where we were starting from. But as every writer's kind of submitted their pieces, it started being about the women. So Pam, you want to come in?
Yeah. So although there's a lot of research that's done, we found so little information. Who knew so many black people were involved in World War I? It was a complete eye-opener for me. It was very difficult to get the actual details of their lives, what happened, why they joined the war, if they did so willingly or not. So we started thinking about it from an emotional perspective as well. So I think particularly for me, I wanted to feel what was it like to go there? What did it feel like to leave your family behind? But what about the women left behind? What did the children do? What did the wives do? They still had to live their life somehow. And most of those people were going from countries that were poor, so they might have gone to try and earn some money. So their families were left behind, suffering.
Okay.
So there's a big focus on how they felt.
Okay, but just to God, a woman, no Yvonne, and it's Pam, You know what I'm kind of Yvonne though, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Tell us, we don't know.
No, but she knows reason why.
Because Yvonne's my sister.
Yeah.
I thought there was some slander there that I could,
Yeah, but no, so I can't even. But Pam, so why did you join the group then? What you got a passion for writing, poetry?
I've been writing pretty much since I was at primary school. I've always written creatively. Not so much poetry, but more. I've actually got 3 novels that I've written over the last 30 years that I haven't actually published yet. Okay. So that's the plan now, to get those published. But I joined the writer group to start sharing my work because I've been writing and not let anyone read it. And I just wanted to get out there and share the work, and that's how I became involved.
All right, because one of the things we're gonna do, you might think I'm a bit fierce, but you have to read out your poetry in the book there, And you, my sister, you have your piece in there as well, innit?
Yeah, I've got 3 pieces.
You got 3 pieces, so we want to read out. But before that, I'm gonna bring in the This man look at me like he want to bring an argument to me. You look at me, sir. I'm gonna ask you, what is the plan or the vision for the group?
The group as opposed to the organization as a whole. Well, the group. Okay, the purpose of the African Heritage Writers Group is for us to meet. We meet on a monthly basis. We perform throughout the year, but we meet on a monthly basis.
Anybody can come, or you just as a...
No, anybody can come to our events. We have events which are open.
Okay, all
okay?
Right.
But in order to get to the point where we can produce quality work or we can perform, we meet. We meet as a group.
Yeah.
And the main imperative is that we support each other as a collective. So we become like a family. The whole point is that we all of us improve our creative skills or writing skills and support one another to do so. Those of us who've been performing or creating written work for a long time will assist those who haven't been involved quite so long. So we bounce off of each other and we help each other to get better than we are. And I make the point that you put the focus on poetry, but we are more than a poetry writers group. We write all forms. I mean, as Pam says, she's written 3 novels. I myself have published a novel. So we're novelists, we are songwriters, anything to do with creative writing. Poetry is just one aspect of what we deal with.
I see what you're saying. Okay then. So who have a piece to read out oh yeah, you want you have your book. You have a piece you want to read out for me, sister?
Yes.
Yeah? I'm not too comfortable if you're on mic, because I wonder if you can come back. Make you see where you're there. Yeah. Come over this, sir. No, you come over, sir. And read out your point about there, yeah?
Okay, this is Lady SC. So I wrote 3 pieces in the 2 poems, and one was like a little kind of prose. So this is actually, while I look for it, so this is actually my 3rd anthology that I've been published in. So it's quite nice being published as a, because when you're a poet, you don't really it's sometimes difficult to get yourself published if you don't do it yourself. So, okay, so the one I'm going to read, when I do find it, was based on, I said when I went to visit the museum, like, I wondered, what would it have been like as somebody whose partner had disappeared? Because I had a old, my primary school teacher, actually, the headmistress. She was widowed from World War II, I think, and she wore black all the time. And she said because she had lost her partner, she was just gonna wear black for the rest of her life.
Rest of her life, yeah.
Yeah, she just wore black.
Okay.
Every single day of her life, she wore black because she was widowed. And so when I first got to write about it, I wondered what would have been like for her. You know, what was it like emotionally for her to have like worn black every day just because she wanted to she wanted to kind of mourn her partner. So I wrote this piece, and it's called One More Time. Lonely nights, my soul fights to keep our dream alive. In pursuit, I lie awake, whispering out your name. In my mind, you have returned, standing by my side. I see you smile, a long embrace. The birds sweetly sing our song. One more dance, I hear you say. You take me by the hand. Our feet glide along the warm, soft sand, and laughter fills the air. Being with my one true love, who could ask for more? As dawn breaks, our house shakes, sirens pierce the air. Wanting to scream, my heart cries out. Why have you left me so long? Tears roll down to my knees. My day has just begun, and chaos is all around. The letter is still lying there. Words etch out my pain. Corporal Armstrong lying in his grave.
Okay. Now, how long it took to put that together?
All the pieces actually didn't take me long. However, I've just realised actually the subconscious mind works every time. So it probably was.
It was in the subconscious.
It's one of those ones where writing it didn't take as long as I thought it would be. But I think subconsciously, once I got told about it, I remember it was a dream I had, and then I kind of woke up. So I got a piece of paper by my bed, and I kind of wrote out skeleton of it. And then I wrote it, and then it probably changed a couple of times. I probably put a couple of drafts, and then I submitted it, and it didn't really change much after that. So my writing process is like that, where sometimes I write a bit of it and then leave it and come back to it.
Okay. So you write at night time, daytime? It just depends how you feel.
It just depends, actually. If I'm struggling, because sometimes if I'm thinking too much, I then go to sleep and I think subconscious mind, do your thing. Do your thing. Wake up and then, the ideas will just come out. So I've got journals everywhere. So I've got different journals. I've got one journal on my phone. I've got, I always got paper, one by my bed. Kind of, if I can't write, then I'll record it. So I keep every idea, because then each will work. Each will work, yeah.
Okay then. I want to bring in Pam. Right? What you laugh after me for?
Because I was just going to see if you can remember my name.
Well, I'm going to bring Pam into the... So, Matt, you have a piece for us as well?
I do have a piece for you, but before I read the piece, I just wanted to say a couple of things. So, although I've written creatively for many, many years, but I actually worked as a fashion journalist for over 20 years. So, I've been published in magazines. I've worked for She Magazine, I worked for Now Magazine. And so, when it came to publishing the book, I was able to put some of my copy editing experience.
Right.
The book has been produced entirely by the group, from the cover design, production, formatting, copy editing, absolutely everything has been done by members within the group. So when we say we're self-published, we are really, really, truly self-published. And it's been quite a feat to get it together.
Yes, thanks to Pam, she copy edited the whole everyone's pieces. So
you edited
she
the whole
edited
piece?
everything. She edited every. Yeah, she had to check. Yeah.
Okay.
So I set the deadlines, collected all the work, then Pam passed over to Pam, and then she literally checked through every piece by piece.
Okay.
That's correct. Anyway, so that was just a little bit more background about us. But I've got a few pieces in the book, and I like to write from different perspectives. So the piece I'm going to read to you is actually written from the perspective of a little girl. So it's written in dialect. I don't have, my accent might waver a bit, but I'm going to read it to you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so it's called Daddy Gone. Mommy say, Daddy don't coming home tonight. He gone away, far, far, remember? He's sailing on a big ship across the sea, abroad. He gone with plenty other men from Ireland all around, and together they go help we king fight and win the war. But I'm not too sure what war is now, but I know about fight, because Daddy does tell me not to, especially with them boys, even when I write. He said he want me to be a lady, to grow up nice and smart, be as pretty as my mother, and that he know I got great plenty hearts. Mommy said, don't cry, when she see the tears start running down. He said Daddy want me to be strong, but I feel so weak inside. What if the people he gonna fight is bigger, badder men? What if there's plenty more of them? What could happen then? Mommy said, it's time to sleep. And she said me go lie down. And my eye can't close, no matter how I squeeze them hard and try. And then I have to press my trembling hands tight against my ears, because in this sticky black of night, I can hear Mommy's tears. I know what Mommy said. Daddy gone away, far, far. We don't know for how long, but yes, she's sure he gonna return. So why my heart full up with pain, so bad, and fear, and thing I can't explain. I mean, head feel like it's going to bust, as if Mommy's words put on boots and keeping up inside it. So I take my scrawny schoolgirl's arms and grip my body tight, pretending that they is Daddy's arms, but they don't have his might. And then my mind starts telling me, wait now, what is Mommy wrong? Just this once. What if Daddy can't come home tonight to give me a surprise? So through these tears that will not stop, that fill my mouth with salt and snot, that make me hiccup to catch breath, that show how afraid I really is, too afraid to even think that word, calm death, that I hear Mommy whisper earlier on underneath your breath. That I stay open wide whole night, searching in the dark, waiting for the Daddy, just in case he come home to say goodnight.
I mean, just listen, it's quite emotional piece there, you know. Is that based on your journey or experience, or just?
No, that's just kind of trying to put myself
in
in someone else's shoes and try
shoes.
to imagine what it must feel like. That's one of the things I like to try to do, is to create emotion.
Okay then. And how long did it took you to put that piece there together?
Probably wrote that over a week or two. I think it's we had several shows, and I like to try and do a new piece every time we do a show. So it was something that I worked on a couple of weeks in advance and recited without having to read from the book. Practicing memorizing pieces as well.
Okay then. All right. And just to say, who inspired you in terms of poetry, and is anybody out there you could say kind of inspired you or you look up to? And
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of black female authors that I started reading when I was like a teenager. So Maya Angelou, Alice Walker, Toni Morrison. So I've still got those books that I read all those years ago, and I sometimes reread them. And I've always just wanted to see my work in print. I want to see my name on the spine of a book on a bookshelf and leave that legacy and inspire other people around me.
Okay then. So, sister, what else you want to use it, Maggie? What else you want to
yeah, similar to Pam, Maya Angelou was my inspiration that got me writing, and
I remember reading her
What's so
work.
special about Maya Angelou? What is so special about Maya Angelou?
I think because during school we didn't actually have black authors. Like in English, you were given other authors to read, and so I think when I found Maya Angelou, I was like, oh, she sort of sounds like me, you know, as a black female author. And it was, I guess, it was like she was authentic and when she wrote, and reading her story, because she wrote hers as a bio. And once I read Maya Angelou, then I kind of found other authors like Sora New Houston as well. Again, she was like an anthology, she wrote again, and who else was there? J. California Cooper. So these are sort of like folk kind of tales. And I remember growing up, my parents as well would make up stories once upon a time, and we would have to make up stories, and they'll talk about stories from Ghana, you know, the Anansi stories, and so it was always around storytelling. And so I'm interested in stories and people's stories, and I call it collecting stories and telling stories. So while I've always wanted to write, I sort of started dancing. So I was always dancing, writing, and then I wrote a play. So I kind of combined my dance,
Oh, you wrote the play?
Yeah, I wrote 2 plays actually. So I've written 2 plays. One was produced by a dance group, so it was like a musical, because I like musicals as well. So I like to try different creative expressions. So I like to use the poetry and other ways of sort of working out. I would say I was one of those typical writers who kind of wrote for myself and was too scared to share. So I tended to write for myself a lot. So like I would have all my stuff for myself, and I was a bit too nervous to write and share and perform my work until I think about 2012, when I made a decision that, you know what, I'm going to go out there, and I went and done a project, and I had my first piece published. And for the first time I was like, oh, writing, oh my goodness, fantastic. Then I went on to get published in another anthology. And so by the time I think 2014 came and I found African Heritage Writers, I said, in order for me to continue as a journey, because writing can be a very lonely profession, and you do need the support of other writers to kind of help you develop and shape yourself. And so that's why I joined the group. And if I join the group, every month I'm forced to have to write a piece to share. You have to force yourself to write a piece. You can't just turn up to the group every month and not have something to share. And after a while you kind of get used to the rejection, because it's not rejection, and it's constructive criticism. It helps you develop. Critique, yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, feedback is the breakfast of champions, to say. So you get good feedback, what works, what doesn't work.
Let's be clear. Critique is very important for someone's personal development.
Yes, it is.
Very important.
Yes.
A dancer, singer, you know, actor, even a speaker.
Yes.
You have to be critiqued. You know what I mean? You have to be critiqued.
You do, but then I guess you have to work out whether it's constructive or unconstructive, because some people are not constructive in the feedback they give.
Everybody's got a different kind of personality. You see what I'm saying? So you have to play to their personality. But critique is very, very important for someone's development, you know? So very, very important, you know? So, wait, you have something to say?
I'm just waiting for you. Did you want to ask me another question?
No, you look from like you want to say something.
I was just paying attention. No, I was just saying that, yeah, so feedback is very important. I think if you, in anything you do, is like, as Bridget says, writing can be very lonely, and you need to have an audience. You need to have somebody who can say, well, that don't sound right, or that wouldn't go like that. Because sometimes it works in your head, and if you read it out loud, it doesn't sound right. If somebody else reads it, they've got a different perspective. So it's really important to have someone, at least one person, to bounce those ideas off and to hear your work and make you think twice about how a point is being come across or how you're going to write something, because you can't write in complete isolation.
No, yeah. Okay. Kind of lead on to this question neatly now, because what would be the future for you personally, or how do you see yourself in next 5, 10, 15 years, you know, as now you started writing and be a part of the collective? How do you see yourself?
Yeah, well, as I said, I've got those 3 novels that are lined up, so it's to start publishing those. I actually had a short story published last year in an anthology. Spread the word. They do like a series of workshops at libraries across London, and every library then chooses their sort of winner for the short story contest, and then they have a runner-up and someone who's highly commended. So I was highly commended for Islington Library, so my story is included in the anthology. So that was My first short story, that was last year. So
Okay,
it's
fantastic.
always onwards and upwards. And the more you do, the more you want to do, and the more you're motivated to do. So it's time to dust those books down, reread them. Try not to edit them too much, because this is what happens. I start reading it again and start editing it again, and then it never gets finished.
Define them more,
Yeah.
more and more. So about yourself, how do you see the future? And
For me, it's combining all my skills. So it's about, I guess, the two plays that I wrote, for me, it's about, at some point, getting them out on stage. Sort of seeing one of my plays on stage would be like fantastic. And more poetry, I would say. I also got an opportunity last year. Part of the House of Amu was facilitating some writers' workshops. So I would like to kind of help those that are writers that are a little bit scared. I understand that scared to kind of be vulnerable to expose yourself. And so...
Okay, then. Sorry, we got someone on the line. Greetings.
Okay, greetings.
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 Yes.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi.
greetings.
Greetings, brother.
Yeah, what's your name, please?
My name is Beulah Williams, and I'm part of the African Heritage Writers.
Hey, Beulah.
Beulah.
How you doing?
Hiya.
You going to read out one of your pieces?
Yes, I'd like to read one of my pieces.
Yes.
So, Ola,
Yes, I would.
you're part of the group?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I know one day. All right, then. Come true, guy. I'll big you up still, you know. So,
Okay.
all right, then. So, you have piece for read to us, yeah?
Yes, I've got a piece from the anthology and one of the poems that I contributed.
All right.
I'd like to read that.
But before you start, what's your film to claim?
Well, my fame to claim. Okay, well, I won the newbies of African Heritage Writers, yeah? I didn't actually know that I could write, obviously, until about 6 months ago.
Oh.
So, yeah, so I'm one of those people that had a hidden stream.
Hidden talent, yeah.
Hidden talent. So, yeah, so, I joined African Heritage Writers, as, a very nervous person.
You come so boast for your big reader, no? You talk about it's all them big thing there. You come and take over. You boost up the status, man. I like it. I love it. All right, then. So come true now. Come true. We have to call you boss, Come true.
Come through. Okay, so shall I read my poem?
Yeah, man. Come true.
Okay. It's called Black Nurse, World War One. Hello?
Yeah, go on.
I see tears raining like bullets, wounds deeper than trenches, men screaming like babies. Death has no color. Dark and light trained as equals, but my equal is still my master. Slavery is a casualty of war. The enemy is in the heart. My position does not wipe out the cotton-picking mentality. I am still a slave.
So hold on. You still we lost. She don't finish it.
Hello, can you hear me?
That's the end of the piece. Yeah.
Hello?
Well, yeah. Hold on. I'll tell you something. If you don't mind, repeat that again, yeah?
Okay, well, I'll start again, right
Start
from the
again.
beginning.
I want pay attention, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah?
Right, okay.
Go on.
It's called Black Nurse, World War One.
Okay.
Yeah. I see tears raining like bullets. Wounds deeper than trenches. Men screaming like babies. Death has no color. Dark and light trained as equals. But my equal is still my master. Slavery is a casualty of war. The enemy is in the heart. My position does not wipe out the cotton-picking mentality. I am still a slave.
You know, son, and that's why you have to read it twice, because as a very that piece that kind of touched me,
Okay.
So tell me, so what made you write that piece? What was the inspiration behind that, and why you write a piece like that?
Okay, well, in the anthology, we had to write poems from African perspective. So I sort of did some research, and I sort of was thinking about people that, black people that were involved in the war, working.
Okay.
And obviously I thought about the nurse. So I just thought about, what a nurse would see. She'd see a lot of pain, suffering.
Yes.
And the part which, for me, it's like, black people, they were slaves, and that they were able to be trained to work alongside their masters, quote unquote, but they were still slaves. So that kind of really touched me as well, because how war, which is such a terrible thing, but it made black people have that opportunity to work alongside white people in a position, but still they were still classed as slaves. Right.
And just speaking with you, I want to feel so you've been around for about 6 months, because you look like you've been around for a very long time.
I'm a newbie. I'm a newbie.
You're new upon the block. That's saying new.
I'm new. Yeah, I'm new on the block.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I'm gonna ask a question to you. What's the future for you in the next 5-10 years? How do you see the future for you in terms of?
I like to write a book. I'm actually working on my own book at the moment. I've got a disabled son who's autistic, and I'm raising disability awareness. And I want to write a book from his perspective, like disability, the barriers that people face when they're disabled. So I think it will reach a lot of people. And also, I found in my journey with my son that there was a lot of stigma attached to disability. I come from a background where people believe in OBR, witchcraft, that sort of thing. So I wanted to break down barriers as well.
Again, you have a background of what?
My background, I'm a Jamaican. Well, my parents are. And I'm 52 years old, so I've grown up knowing that our background, there's lots of stigma attached to disability. Like they might say it's a curse. They're not.
Oh yes, that's what you said. Yeah.
You with me?
Say it's OBR.
So,
No, man.
So therefore, what I am doing is challenging those beliefs.
Stigma. Yeah. Understand.
And so I use my son as a tool in the sense that I take pictures of him in, like, we go out, restaurants, parks, church, and what I do is I sort of show how he fits into the community, the things that he does, and that's to try and show people that, okay, I've got a disabled child, or they have a daughter, whatever, but you can still be part of society, and you have a right to be in society, no matter what. So it's about raising the awareness, and so that's why from that, I want to write a book about my son's journey, or should I say our journey, my journey with him, and that's my way of contributing to disability and the awareness, and again, breaking down barriers in our race.
All right then. Well, my sister, you're so powerful, because you kind of, when you talk like someone thump you in the chest, because you have some power, man. You have some power, man. I can't wait to connect with you. You have some power, you have some power. Okay, then what I'm gonna do now is is there anything else you want to talk to anybody inside the studio here, particularly, or you want to?
I want to obviously say a big thank you to African Heritage Writers, because they've given me an opportunity. My mentor, Ngoma, and Bridget
who say Ngoma?
Yeah, I'm Ngoma. He's my mentor. I'm biased, so I must big him up.
All right then. In both, so.
I'm biased. I don't care. It's on there, Ngoma. I have to thank him because he gave me the opportunity.
All right.
And he's been very supportive towards me. Again, don't get me wrong, I've had support from everybody, but he opened the door.
He opened the door for you. All right, we give thanks.
He opened the door.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Okay, then, my sister. All right, then, give thanks still, yeah?
Thank you for your
bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye, Bridget. Bye, Pam. Bye, baby. Bye, whoever student is.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, then. Boy, you have a powerful sister. Very, boy. When them person talk, like someone thump in the chest, man, when them talk, man.
Beulah raises a really interesting point about raising awareness, because although she's obviously wants to raise awareness about autism, the book itself is trying to raise awareness about the participation of African Caribbean people in the war.
Okay.
Because if you open a history book, you don't see us in that history book. You know, when I was at school, I never knew black people were involved. And when we would, set this challenge, even then I still was like, really? How am I going to write about this? I don't know nothing about this. So this is an opportunity for us to raise awareness amongst our own people and in the next generation, to educate people, not just black people, everybody, because everyone should know that we participated. Thousands of our people lost their lives. Thousands of our money was spent to make the war continue and to be a success. When they had the victory parade, there weren't black faces in the victory parade because they were sent home before it happened.
Yes.
Okay, so trying to find out about our past and our role has been really difficult because it's not catalogued. It's ignored. It's brushed under the carpet. So although this book is a creative piece and not like a really heavily researched piece, it is based on the little that we do know, and it gives room for debate and for people to find out more about our history. We can't just be written out of the pages of the history books. We have to claim our place, and that's what we're doing with the book. It's a creative piece where we're imagining what happened because we haven't got the facts. When people went back home and shared their stories, who knows what happened to the stories? They might have been passed down word by word. They might not have been written down. So now we've got nothing to go back to. So this is the beginning.
Well, just to jump on that, my sister, that I believe that one of the things we need to create here in the UK, where we are, right, is our own media, your own black media, because the other people have their own agenda, and the agenda is slightly a bit distorted and don't really push out what benefit us, So we need to create our own. And the reason why I'm saying that, because the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been talking a lot about racism in sports, especially football and them thing there, right? And two things come to mind straight away. Need to buy our own football club. When we start from non-league, make a way upwards, we need to start, right? Right? All this is just get a few of them money, club the money together and just buy one football club, right? And at the same time, right, set our own media. And I tell you something, and the reason why there's a youth called, Sterling. He plays for Man City.
Yeah,
right?
no, we're not going to start talking about football and go and calm down.
Right? But the thing of him now, right, the reason why he's so effective, because he's got his own Twitter account. So say we go to the full media, and if he's just not happy with one or two things, straight his account, and he gets results. You see what I'm saying?
That's right, because social media is another opening. We don't have to rely on the traditional media to beg them to give us a story. We can put our own stories out there, and that's what the book's about. We're a collective. We're putting our story out there. We're putting our history out there, so that people know the truth, and that's the way forward. And, we will be able to publish more books. We'll be able to publish our own and other people's books.
And the thing is that when you look at the group, who are as a collective, and they're very talented on their own right? You just see why it's even more hurt that you just put our own stuff out there.
Absolutely,
Let's just talk about autism and. Not autism. Charles.
Yeah, she's talking about autism.
Autism, and that's why she wants to change the perspective around that. So it's quite powerful. Anyway, well, go on, Esther, because you have a point for read. It's spread out.
Yes.
What you want to do, man? Yeah, whisper. Man, whisper to me.
You call me out. But all right. Now, I just want to say a couple of things very quickly. You mentioned the need for us to own. I think you gave us an example of our own football club. And it's worth mentioning that not too far from here, we have one of the best organized non-league clubs in the country. We should remember this, because Broadwater Farm, that people will be aware of, Classford and Company, they've established Broadwater Farm as a model for how a football club should be run. I had the privilege of having my son go there at a young age before he lost interest in football. And the way those guys run that club is a model. It's something that anybody could benefit from. Unfortunately, because it's a black-owned club, right, the professional clubs tend not to use it as a feeder in the way that you think they would. However, that's another story. In terms of the anthology, a very important point to make, you talked about the unity, and we see ourselves as a family more than as a group of individual writers. Right. Okay? And that is why we all of us as well are not only talented writers, but we are individual thinkers. And in terms of World War I, we all have a perspective on World War One, but we don't all have the same perspective. And the book reflects that. That's why we put in the book that the contributions in the book are not necessarily the position of the organization as a whole. Because as writers, we are free thinkers, and we all have our individual different perspective, and we can unite and write together without falling out or whatever. You understand? Which gives the book a greater dimension. For instance, some of us think that those of us who participated in the war were heroes and should be honored, and statues should be created towards them. Some of us think that they're a bag of fools and they had no right in a white man's war. So there's a whole spectrum in between those two things. I'm not going to say what my perspective is, right? Some of them know me and may think they know, but you know, as I say, we have, and all of those perspectives are in the book. Some of us, you know, it's important as writers, because as African people, there's much more to us than just sufferation. You understand? There's much more to us. We tend to identify ourselves as sufferers. That's part of our heritage, but that's not the only part of our heritage. We're also great thinkers, we're philosophers, we're all kind of things, you understand? So we won't always have necessarily the same perspective on anything. The same with World War One, and some people think that maybe Seacole is great and that we should put plaques up to her and whatever, and some of us think that she should have been there looking after her own people. You understand? So, you know.
No, that's an interesting point. That's a very good point. I'm glad you bring that to the table, because you know, we need to have free thinking. But it's also your perspective as well, how you view things at that particular time. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you're gonna read Peace, my sister?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When this right. So this time, yet again in somebody else's guise. This time I'm a man. So this one's called No Hero, and I was kind of thinking about kind of what Ngoma was just saying, the different reasons behind why people went to fight in the war. Some willingly went, some were underage and they snuck off and they joined and they wanted to fight. They might not have known what they were fighting for. Some went because they wanted to somehow make a better life. I guess they might not have had any idea what a war really was, but there's many reasons why they did join, and there were probably many reasons why they regretted joining too, but we'll never know. So this one's called No Hero. I didn't go to be a hero. It wasn't the uniform that drew me there. There was no deep desire to fight for king and country, nor hopes and dreams of personal glory, I swear. I didn't even know what I might find, and in truth, maybe I didn't care. I was just in search of a better life, wanted to move away from poverty and strife, dreamt I could return to my patient, hard-working wife, a better, stronger, richer man. I didn't go to be a hero. It wasn't the uniform that drew me there. There was no deep desire to fight for king and country, nor hopes and dreams of personal glory, I swear. I couldn't begin to imagine what I might find, and to be honest, I really didn't care. Myself through my own eyes I abhorred. I was desperate to sweep this poverty from my door, and I thought I'd found the answer in enlisting to go to war. I was sure I could become a better, stronger, richer man. I didn't go to be a hero. It wasn't the uniform that drew me there. There was no deep desire to fight for king and country, nor hopes and dreams of personal glory, I swear. There was no way to know what I would find, and truthfully, honestly, I really didn't care. The hunger in my children's bellies growling. How much longer could I endure that sound and berate myself, knowing that not one more cent could be found? So yes, I went to that so-called Great War, because a chance for a better life I sought, and felt I ought return a better, stronger, richer man.
It's quite interesting, because you kind of said it, and it kind of turns what Ngoma said. You know, it's your perspective why you join the war and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so you might go there thinking you do something better, but you go there, it's a different argument. No,
absolutely.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying. So it's quite interesting. Okay, you have a point for a sister? Hold on, someone I try fit.
Yeah, someone.
We'll deal with this first. Hold on a second. Greetings. Hold on. Greetings.
My name is Baden. I'm one of the African Heritage Writers Group.
Hey, Baden.
I'm just... Hey.
Hold on.
Another one. You see, they're all out there listening.
Who this?
How this ask? How this?
No, because I talk to you.
No, you know who I talk to you?
Hey, Bridget, where I do it? But do you know who's talking to you? No.
I hope it's not Ngoma. Because if it is, I'm in a lot of trouble.
No, but hold on. See, you understand? Hold on. Me mention your name earlier on,
That couldn't possibly be Dougie Williams.
Hold on. Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully.
Brethren.
Hold on, man. Hold on a second. Hold on. I mentioned your name earlier on, so you used to teach me. You're my first teachers.
Now make me reach my hand on this phone and clap you up like me used to clap you up when I was
Yes, sir. All right. Hey, you come from public radio and call me up, sir. All right, I'm going to humble myself now,
But you know who this is.
No, I'm going to humble myself now, because them kind of talk, though, like a man told me chest already, you know what I mean? So I got to keep myself quiet, you know what I mean? No, I talk about in high esteem, in high esteem. And not your phone, boy, it's a miracle, man. It's incredible what I go on. All right, then. So, look, I don't want to embarrass myself because someone go fast, see me and give me a slap still, Right? But hold on. Yeah, come in, man. Come in and talk where you have to talk.
No, I'm folded in. I'm listening to Pam reading on the radio. I don't want to interrupt her, really. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to interrupt? No, man, you can. All right, you want to read your poem then?
No, let Benny could do his.
All right, them time say you have to come in and talk, They will do them piece after. So you come in and contribute what you want to say. Are you want to read the piece as well?
If I'm allowed, yeah.
Well, I'll give you, because I'll give you a time, because you remember said you're one of my first teachers. Right? I mean, a big man, big great up man, you know what I mean? So
it look like things turn and you're the damn man now and they're just the youth, you know what I mean?
No, man, you see what a man, I've humbled myself when it comes to a man like you, man. So whatever you want to do, you do what you want to do, right? So if you want to read a piece or you want to contribute what's been said, it's up to you, brethren.
Well, first of all, I just want to say big up the House of Amau. And big up the African Heritage Writers crew. And big props to Brother Ngoma, the man who kind of holds it all together. And all the others who do all the hard work behind the scenes. Lady SC, a.k.a. Bridget, who's there with you right now. Where you say, Bridget?
Yes, Baden.
Yeah. Oh, I need to talk to you about a banner or a placard or something. But we talk about that differently, right?
Okay.
And I don't think now is the time to ask you about them stories that you're supposed to be bringing forward to me. I don't think that would be appropriate. So.
Yes, Monday. I'll have it ready.
And, to all crew, everybody involved in the organization, but the family, everybody in the family, for the big things that's going on, and we're seeing it every day in each and every way, Just last night, a group of us went to a storytelling event down in Kentish Town, and one of the group who's supposed to be one of the quiet ones just stepped forward and represented the group it was. The only word I can find for it is magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. So, Beulah, if you're listening yet again.
Oh, Beulah's the one who just phoned earlier on, yeah? Oh, she spoke last night.
Yeah,
big
she did.
Okay, then. But so she's tough, No, she's tough.
You know her?
We say?
You know Beulah?
No, me just listen, man. No, such a tough man. I'm just brother here. You asked me that kind of question, but anyway, I'm not argue with you because you're done, man. So I'm not argue with you. But no, she's tough, man.
1 minute you tell me about she tough, and then me ask if you know. You tell me no, you don't know. You're not such a tough.
No, hold on. No, but bring them out with public radio. No, no, Ras. With the public noise, brethren.
And,
Go on.
and to anybody who's listening and don't know, this is a man, Mr. Williams. You hear me call him Mr. Williams. He's a man been flying the flag for culture, representing down through the years, you know. Not just now. All down through the years. So respect to you as well, brother Dougie, you know.
Yeah, all right. I've had my journey. I've had my licks as well, part of the journey still. But it's been a journey. But give thanks, man. Give thanks.
Yes,
give thanks.
brother.
Because, I mean,
Yes, brother.
I know where you're coming
Respect
from, you know.
still.
I know where you're coming
Still,
from.
you know, all the way down the line, man. You've always been there. You've always represented one style, which is, you know, right on, honesty, poor but clean. Well, when I say poor, you know, I mean, I know what you hide under your mattress. But, you know, I only need,
hey, listen, man. You know, people give me some arguments. You know, say, boy, don't get what if a bag of money and even mattress now? You know what I mean?
I'm using the word poor as a metaphor because man is rich in spirit, rich in love, rich in health, strength, and vitality, and positivity in every way. Respect, my brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right. Coming for you now, my chest kind of get wide out a little bit now. Yes, sir.
So, well, I would read a piece, but I have to go and find it.
It was that comedian show.
Talk among yourselves. Talk among yourselves.
All right, I'm going to make the sister read fear piece there.
I'll let people know where they can get the book.
Yeah.
If you want to purchase the book, you can go onto Amazon, .co.uk, and it's $9.99, including free delivery. And we've also got it at some local libraries.
And also New Beacon Books and Finsbury
yeah,
Park.
I'm going to read out the book. So Burley Fishers, down in 400 Kingsland Road, Dalston E8 4AA. Their telephone number is 0207 249 2263. House of Books 28 the Broadway Crouch End N8 9SU. Their telephone number is 0208 340 7080. Yes, and New Beacon Books at 76 Stroud Green Road, Finsbury Park N4 3EN. Their number is 0207 272 4889. And down in South London at Pempamsey, 102 Brookston Hill, SW21AH. Their number is 0208 671 0800. So there are the bookshops that are currently stocking the books. We can go down and purchase a copy. And as I said, you can get it online on amazon.co.uk. And local libraries, some local libraries in Islington, Haringey, Brent, and Hackney, because those four boroughs actually, since we started in 2014, have supported us in different ways. So, especially Hackney and Islington, like a lot of our events, they kind of let us use premises. So they've been supporting us. So it's a lot of local, and it's going to be some libraries down in different parts of London, but we're still getting through. So yeah, so that's where you can get a book if you want to get a book.
Okay.
Baden?
I'm here, you know, but for some reason this thing don't seem to want to open. I've got the poem. No. I've the technology don't seem to be, you know, supporting me, you know. But here it comes. You know, when the technology is like me, you know, it's a little bit older and slower. Dougie.
What?
Dougie. You know, I'm a little older and slower than I used to be, but, you know, I'll get there in the end.
Baden.
Yeah.
Well, first time get so much joke.
Stop worrying up the people, because I know that you've memorized everything in the anthology and all of your pieces of work. I know you have them in memory, so stop pretending that you have to open things and look for things on technology, right? We know you have them really imprinted on your consciousness at the top of your tongue already, so just read off something for the people.
If only that was true. Okay. Well, I tell you what. Let me cover up some ground while I'm waiting for this thing to happen. So first of all, this anthology contains some fantastic work, and I would go through every contributor to the book and praise each and every one of them. And I'm not just being, generous, because there's some beautiful work in there. Pam, who's there right now, some of the contributions that she has made to the anthology. I'm not saying nothing that Pam hasn't heard before. Every time I've heard her read, I've heard something new that's kind of made me appreciate what she's done even more. Bridget, some beautiful stories. Diana Phillips, wonderful, wonderful work. Beulah, who you all heard earlier on, has come on and made massive strides, and her contributions come straight from the heart. I could go on and on. Cuban Red, a.k.a. Shirley Mason, wonderful artist. Abe Gibson, my brother friend, my mentor, my tormentor. The Don Gargan himself. I tell you.
Where you find a rhythm from?
You see, when you call out people's name, right, you're gonna have to call everybody's name now, because later on somebody's gonna phone me and say, "Listen, how come the man is on the radio and he mentioned everybody except for me?"
Okay.
So
I'm gonna read you my own humble offering, which have I got time to tell you the story of how this piece came to be?
What I tell you, so we ain't much time yet, so my brother, because we got about 15 minutes left, and
Well, no, because that story of how Ngoma got me to write this piece, that's a half-hour story by itself. So
you have to leave that next time. Let's cut out about 3-4 minutes,
Let me just read the piece. It's called Healing Hands. I was always told I had the healing touch. Smooth hands that could induce calm, administer soothing balm, coat peeling skin with ointments, treat sores and boils with oils and unguents, apply gentian violent to open wounds. Even as a child, I would be taken in the dead of night to the home of some poor, sorrowful wretch, redolent with a stench I later recognized as imminent death. Yet somehow, my hands, gently placed on feverish brow or onto tender skin, would draw inflammation out, take away tumors, leave wellness in place of swelling, pains, and aches. As I grew, and rumors of my skill spread far and wide, I yearned to journey to foreign parts, emulating Our Lady who brought comfort, light, and hope to broken men, blood mingling with blasted earth, life ebbing into mud in killing fields. Like her, I wish that I could share my gifts of comfort, light, and hope with these desperate souls clinging on to life in war-torn fields. And yet, a nagging doubt, a lifeline snagged on jagged rocks, a dagger's point pressed against my furrowed brow. Why would I turn my back on my own deserving poor right here in our backyard to go and serve our former masters overseas, when sufferance and privation everywhere you look, life hard, things tough, pot a cook but food not enough, children falling sick, bellies swollen, pregnancies aborted, birthright stolen. Go join their war for what? They send for us, saying the motherland needs you. But all they're going to do is the same they always done. Take our skills, our sinews, sweat and blood, just like how they stole our wealth, our spices, silks and gold, our land, our very souls. buy and sell us, make us chattels, have us work in land like horse and cattle. Then when they're done, all value spent, we're cast aside like broken shackles. No. I think my time might be better spent right here amongst my own. No need for me to shine my light abroad like some migrating songbird. Instead, I go and help to heal half a foot girl from Follies Hill, the lepers in the Cocoa Bay house, the mumps and deadly meningitis in our young, and all the 1,000 ills that still afflict my island people. Yes, that's right. There's plenty work right here for me to do with these 2 healing hands. That's it.
Boy, I don't have to say, man. You really
Yes, I.
take us on a journey there, man. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Baden, did you have anybody in particular in mind when you wrote that? That's a rhetorical question because obviously I know the answer, but did you really?
There was a lady I met at the Antigua and Barbuda National Association, an elder of the community who was a retired nurse, is a retired nurse. She's still with us. And I met with a group of them one time and we were talking about, you know, getting people to discuss their memories and things that they did. And this woman, very modest, a woman of great achievement, but very modest. She'd obviously worked 30, 40 years in the health service. And when we asked her, well, what story would you have to tell about from your life? She was like, oh, me, nobody want to hear what I have to say. And I said, no, you know, come talk. Because everybody obviously respected her, venerated her. And reluctantly, she stepped forward to talk. And the first word she said was, I was born with healing hands. And when she said that, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. So this poem is in one way a tribute to her. It's also references, obviously, Our Lady herself, who some people consider, you know, a little bit controversial. What's her name, Ngoma? Not Florence Nightingale.
Mary Seacole.
Lady Mary Seacole, that's right. So it references Mary Seacole, but it's also a tribute to this great lady. And I wish I could tell you her name. She'd probably be embarrassed if I did, so maybe it's just as well. But, you know, one of our so-called Windrush generation who came here served the National Health Service for many, many years. But that's where that expression "healing hands" came from.
Okay.
And respect to her.
Yeah. Okay, then listen, you know, so we have about 10 minutes left now, and you spend the last 10, 15 minutes just to give us a joke and all that something, and then you get to the serious part now, right? So, again, I want to big you up. Is anybody want to say anything to Bladen? Because I'm going to run him off. I'm going to run him off now, you know.
No, it's all right. My God.
You got So, look here. Respect again to you, yeah?
Always, Dougie.
Respect
all
every
best,
time,
yeah?
family. Don't we go back a long way, you know. We go back a long way, man. So, respect to you. And the funny thing is that, hold on, I saw your uncle the other day, you know.
Okay, Mr. Prince, Mr. John.
Yeah, because he's a writer too, innit?
You confuse me, Uncle John. I taught him everything he knows, you know.
Huh?
I taught him everything he knows.
Yeah? No. When I say I'm going to bring an argument to him, yeah? All right, then.
I will do.
All right, then. Take care, my brother, yeah?
Bless up.
Yeah, man. More love, man.
Respect everyone.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
yes, man.
All right, then. Okay, then. So, y'all come through now. Y'all go. All right, then. So, we got about 7 minutes left, so we have to watch people I don't know.
This piece is, as I said, I was talking about the African women on the continent itself. So this is a letter that I wrote. So it's a letter to Chief Apia. It's dated the 1st of December 1916. So I'm going to do it in dialects as well. Okay. Dear Chief Apia, my name is Abana Boateng. I am writing you on behalf of the women in our village of Bakwai to find out why every time you visit, many of the men and boys disappear. It is now coming to the end of 1916, and this war you talk about in Europe, it's still going on. When you first came to recruit, you said that it will be a short war, that will be over in months. But they have already been fighting for 2 long years. We keep hearing that it will soon be over. How long? How long must they fight? We are angry. Did we start this war? They, those Europeans, caused trouble amongst themselves, and now we must pay the price. How much blood must be shed? They do not see how we, the women left in the villages, are left to pick up the pieces. Do you remember when you first came to speak to us, you were so convincing, telling us that you just needed a few strong men to go to Togoland to help the king's soldiers to prevent the Germans coming to our country and burning it. Many men left and marched far into the bush, and we have not heard from them to know if they are well. It's like they have just vanished. Then you returned last month, when we had just returned from the yam farm. You called more men, including my husband, Kofi Boateng, and then just handed them to the government police, who led the way out of the village. No man was safe. I know it's not just our village. You and all the chiefs are just rounding up men by force. My husband, like many of your recruits, did not want to go. He does not believe in violence, especially war. He always said talking did more for peace than guns. But as you are chief, when you talk, we all have to listen. But is it fair? Why have you not gone to fight? Why are most of the men in your family still around? If you believed what you said, would you not have gone or even sent your sons or brothers? But instead, you sent our sons, our family, and spare you your own. You say men are fighting for the empire to bring about peace in the world. And when it's over, there will be freedom and life will continue on as it has before. But life will never be the same. We have been losing our men and boys to this great war, as they call it. What is great about it? It has become our new enemy. Every day, I have to console another widow or a mother mourning for her son. Many of their husbands and sons have not returned, and we do not know if they are dead or alive. I know that I will not see my husband again. We just have to say that they have gone, lost to the earth. In God's hands we place them. I know you will say that some return. Yes, there are some that escape and return, like my sister's husband, part2. But he is injured and of no use to anybody, not even to himself, because now all he does is drink apateshi and act the fool. Well, I will sign off here and hope you hear our cries and not return to our village, as we cannot and will not stand by while you tear more families apart. Just to let you know, I have set up an association called WATW, Women Against the War. Yours, Abona Boateng.
Right. Give thanks for that. Blum, blum, blum. Give thanks, man. And I could feel that one there right through my bones. Seeing, and why it's a different show this, because usually I'm gonna talk certain things, Panny, but when you have poetry and find out again for me, brethren. Right. Big up to is it Mark Cox? Yeah. Big up to Mark Cox, who enjoying the show. See?
The great Mark Cox, straight out of Hampstead.
Straight out of Hampstead,
Northwest, big up.
Big up yourself, man, every single time. Okay, then. So, what I want to do now, we've got literally about 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes. So, I just want to let people know, there's an event coming up in March, yeah? You want to let people know?
March the 31st, it's a Women in the House, Sisters in the House event, so it's International Women's Month.
Oh, International Women's Month, okay.
Yeah,
then.
it's this event to celebrate, so it's going to be me, myself, hosting, Lady Essie, and bigging up all the women in the group who are going to be sharing their pieces and any other female guests we may have on the day. So it's going to be at the Attic, Hackney Picture House. If you want more information and you want to get on the guests on the mailing list so we can send you information when it's out, email the houseofamu@gmail.com, houseofamau@gmail.com, and you'll be sent information. Look out for it on Eventbrite. And if you know any of us personally, just come and tap us on the shoulder and say, hey, when's the details for your event so we can book? Both.
Okay, and thank you, Dougie, for having us on the show.
Yes, thank you
Guys,
so much.
We hope you enjoyed the readings this evening. If you want to read more, you know where to go. Amazon.co.uk and all the bookshops that we mentioned earlier.
Okay, so I want to give thanks to our special talent in the community, and boy, I really first time he jumps it for a long time. So people start sweet me now, you know, feel sweet. And big up to all those who contributed. Is it Buda and Beulah and Baden and anybody else to phone in? Just those two, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, give thanks. Yeah. All right.
Stands for something. When it stands, a voice becomes when it stands. When it stands for something. Questioning and voicing to feel a sense of the real. Everything. Poets turning routine into ritual. Resounding sound symbols of language into language played. I tell ya, unraveling the perfect embroidered geometry of the unilateral reality. Its intricate layers of who, when, where, and how to feel. Not real. The what shall speak for itself, the poet says. The poet says. Yeah. A voice becomes when it stands. When it stands for something. A voice becomes when it stands. When it stands for something. What shall be what the poet sees. Voice spreading stance and eyes in light. And pulling through the cracks and things that lets the light in. Mr. Leonard Cohen. An order against disorder and randomness expressed in the poet sound. Voice resounding, sounding in the poet sound. Images and eyes and sight. Message meshing and metaphors as meteorite. Mr. Clifton Joseph. Yeah. So to you, the young poets who stand up and voice crafted visions, sight up into lines, set alight, engine words, flyage vibes. You say we have yourself in a muscle. Self-defined, don't walk blind, we say, to you word chatterers, you go to glory. I play forward link in our ancestor story. A voice becomes when it stands. When it stands for something. When it stands for something. A voice becomes when it stands. When it stands for something. Your words sound power. Connectivity station. Spiritual underground railroad vibrations. Self-determination. Navigation. One voice then two in community. Ever exploring your movement worldwide. Sound. Yes. Bring your values alive. Bring your values. On one book, vital and alive with pride. Spoken word, dub poetry vibe. Spoken word, dub poetry vibe. Spoken word, dub poetry vibe. Black
My Toronto. Poetic gesture. Yeah. Of Toronto the rhythm and the sway cannot wait to be embraced. This diverse, alive, inverse city where trees grow around the cement, our new self in concrete, our feet against concrete as we go about our ways. Percussion, play, echoes, echoing, learning to love what we have made. Softening between brick and cement.